It's ain't more money, more problems. That's where we don't got 'em. You must be on a different page.
What's up? The boys are back in the building for week 5. Sammy, I love your song, man. Props to Sammy for that amazing intro song. Dead Prez, we got the one and only Alpha Dog Bet, and myself, AC. All right, let's get through week 4. How'd your bet do? I'll start with Alpha Dog.
I did pretty well. I didn't hit my biggest play of the day, which was a bit frustrating. But besides that, on Sunday, we started off the early slate going 4-1, so I can't really complain too much. Just a shame that my biggest bet was the one that lost on the early slate. Dad, how'd you do this week?
Yeah, it was our best week, actually, of the season so far. So had a nice week.
Let's go, Dad.
Yep, had a good week. Would have liked an Eagles win to top it off, but unfortunately, we weren't beating Mahomes. How about you, Sammy? Good week?
I mean, all I can say is bring them out, bring them out. It's hard to go when the sweep is in your mouth. Clean off your screens. It's a 3-0 for me. Hell, Anna.
Sammy went 3-0 last week. Big sweep, big props to Sammy. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining this week. It is week 5 in the NFL. Thank you again to our sponsors, bookmakersreview.com. Please check out their YouTube. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, and we'll check out the description, and you'll get all the NFL content you need for this week. We are going to give you best bets, so please keep it locked. All right, let's get into last week. First game was Thursday. It actually ended up pretty good. Jaguars at the Bengals. Dead Press, I'll start with you. Did you have any action on this game?
Just a few props in this one. Actually ended up pretty much breaking even in the game. But I agree. It was a much better game than we thought. Jags hopped out to that big lead. I grabbed the Bengals a few times live, so I was happy with the end result. How about you guys? Have anything big in that one?
I think for me, the biggest story, right, is Urban Meyer going to that bar in Ohio.
You should have said it was Trevor Lawrence he was dancing with. He could have got away with it.
Oh, yeah, you can't tell the difference, right? You can't tell the difference. Is a blonde, long hair.
Yep.
But dude, his apology and then his wife's reply
Statement.
to it. I couldn't believe what I was reading.
Well,
Alpha Dog, that's how you go ahead, Sammy, go.
It was like I don't know. It was like half of I'm okay with this, and then the other half was flamingo emojis. So I guess we'll leave that up to the chat to absolutely air raid that one, because that was wild to me. I mean, look, you don't want to see your significant other doing that type of movement anywhere. You know, it looked like he was hiking the ball through the chick's legs. You know, once you're caught on camera, you're caught. How do you feel?
Forever.
Too much information there. Alpha Dog Bets, did you have any action on this game at all?
I did. I had the over in this game. Was surprised that it was as close as it was for a while, and happy that we did have a decent game to watch. Also had some prop plays, broke around even for the game, but was a light game for me. But the whole Urban Meyer story, that's something I'm not going to touch. I'll let that be up to him and his family. I don't want to be anywhere near that story or really care too much about it.
You're absolutely a smart man.
The Bengals should have won by 2 touchdowns, but we'll leave it at that.
All right, so let's fast forward to Sunday. There were a lot of big games early, a lot of big comebacks. The first one I want to get to was the Falcons and the Washington football team. The Falcons had control of that game basically all game long. They blew it in the end. Alpha Dog Bets, how do you feel about our NFC East nemesis, Washington?
Well, I wasn't happy watching this game. As a Giants fan who just lost to Washington, I really wanted the Falcons to pull it out, especially because both teams beat the Giants. But Heineke threw for 290 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a pretty good game, led the comeback. And in the second half, they outscored them 21-13. That was the big difference. So I think it was definitely an impressive win for Washington. Going into the second half, I did not see them coming back.
Yeah, so this next game here, we had the Lions going to Justin Fields and the Bears. I fortunately was on the Bears pretty big, so I'm happy about that result. Dead Press picks. I think you were on the Bears as well, right?
Yeah, we ended up going with the under in this one, so also was happy with the end result. Although that second half it got close, both teams kind of opened it up. Yeah, Lions are just brutal, man. I mean, they have nothing working for them. They had a couple times actually in the red zone with a couple turnovers. So the Bears actually got bailed out a bit by the Lions there. But yeah, that just a bad team. No way you say it. But now we got Fields taking over. That was announced this week. So
Yep.
it's an exciting time though for Bears fans to watch him.
I mean, we called it. Like
We did call it.
It's like, look, if you have a decent Q1, it's like, it's AC's X-Man's, Andy Dalton. He knows how this story runs out. It's like, we don't need to read the intro. We know the conclusion. It's like, don't read the first Harry Potter book when you can read the seventh.
Sammy Adams, you're my boy. You backed the Cowboys last week. They showed out. They put 36 on one of the best defenses in the league.
Come on,
Talk your talk. Tell me about the Cowboys.
I was very impressed. There's a lot of talk. Panthers have this amazing quarterback secondary. It is what it is. Look at Dak go. Look at Zeke. Zeke is showing out like he just popped out second year. Like, bong, let's go. Rip the jersey. No Cam Newton. Let's go. Like, I'm excited about the Cowboys. I wish I could say the same for some Eagles, but I can't.
All right, perfect segue. The Philadelphia Eagles were hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs just came off a loss, so they were motivated. But honestly, Dead Press, the Eagles dropping 30 was actually pretty good for me. So,
yeah,
how'd you
I was
feel
still
about it?
encouraged with it overall. I mean, I didn't expect a win by any means in this game. They did not cover the spread either, though. So finally, Kansas City gets a cover. But yeah, offensively, I thought we looked good, but they couldn't get any stops in this game. So it was pretty much a result I expected, to be honest. Had Casey's team total over, so I guess I was a little bit happy with that result at least.
Everybody
Shout out to Donnie on that one. Shout out to Donnie from last week.
Everybody
That
take a 40 and pour it out for Eagles fans, Dead Press picks, and Donnie right side. Their team is just never going to cover. Our resident fan, Giants, the Giants showed out last week. They went to New Orleans and won, not only covered the spread, but they won outright. Alpha Dog Bets, we gave you 17 minutes last week to talk about the Giants. Tell me about your Giants this week.
It was unexpected. It was an unexpected result going on the road to New Orleans, and Daniel Jones had himself a day. It was great to see Saquon Barkley getting back, getting in the end zone twice, and Danny Dimes threw for 402 yards. And this guy now has 2 turnovers. He only has 2 turnovers on the year. Fumble in week 1 and a halftime Hail Mary interception. I don't even count the halftime Hail Mary interception. That's 1 turnover through the first 4 games of the year. I am very impressed with how his performance is going.
Well, all turnovers count, so it is 2 turnovers.
Not counting the halftime Hail Mary.
It is 2 turnovers, but let's be honest, the Saints are the most unpredictable team of the year. Came out and blasted Aaron Rodgers of the Packers. That score was what was it, 38-3? Like
something like that. Yeah,
we're done. I think Aaron Rodgers took a couple inches off the hair, swiped it out of his little brim. It's fine. The thing is, the Saints could potentially be in a letdown spot this week. We'll get to that later, though.
All right, let's get to one of the marquee games last week. Both were 3-0 going into that game. The Rams were hosting the Cardinals. And honestly, Kyler Murray in Arizona kind of took it to Los Angeles. Dead Press Picks, how'd you read that game?
Yeah, we were on the card, so I was happy with that result. I mean, I thought the line, honestly, it was, a little inflated there, 5.5. I didn't expect them to just kind of blow them out, essentially, like they did. But, yeah, I mean, we're finally seeing the Cardinals, this high-powered roster, actually, the results show up on the field. So I didn't expect the result as big as it was, but I was happy with the Cardinals in that game for sure.
All right.
I was on the Cardinals myself in that one too.
Same.
So I'm happy that they pulled that one out. I think it was more indicative of a letdown spot for the Rams as well. Not that the Cardinals didn't play great, but I don't think the Rams played to their full potential either. I think that I think it was a necessary loss for them moving forward. I think that we should see even maybe coming up this week, which we'll talk about later, that was a big loss for them, and they might have needed that loss to kind of bring them back to reality a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, just a reminder, guys, we are live right now on Twitter, on YouTube, and Facebook. So thank you, everybody, for the comments. Hunter Dean, I see all of your love. We will get to that when we get to this week's slate. So I appreciate the Pats and the Bucks angles there. All right, 2 more games to get to. It's a huge Sunday night, probably the most anticipated regular season game we've had in many, many years. Tom Brady went back to Foxborough to play his New England Patriots. Our resident Patriots fan, Sammy Adams, they actually played well. It was 19-17. Mac Jones had them in the lead late in the fourth. How'd you feel about your team going into it?
You know, to be honest, you don't really know how to feel when your GOAT is in a different uniform running in. I thought he was going to throw his shoulder out with the whole thing. You know, he's getting old, but he played well. To be honest, the highlight of this game is Mac Jones. Like, he absolutely balled. The defense played great, and it just comes down to a doink at like the 48?
No, 56. It was 56 yards. Nick Folk had the distance, but he hit the left upright. It was super close.
I was pissed because the placeholder was like, well, the wind's going this way. I'm like, you got to kick it that way. So honestly,
on third down, I thought Bill Belichick should have ran the ball there, get it a little closer. Fourth down, I actually would have gone for it. They had gone for fourth down a few times earlier in the game, and they had that really quick out to either Jared Cook, who was cooking that game, or like a Jacoby Myers 3-yard out. I think they could have gotten, but it is what it is. Dead Prez, how'd you feel about that game?
I think it was a really encouraging game for Patriots fans. I mean, I thought they played a great game. Definitely could have won the game. Yeah, going with the kick there might have not been the best move in the weather, but I would have went, with the kick there at the end of the game. But I think Mac Jones is a real deal. I think they're set up well.
Cool.
I mean,
all right, and
for a rookie, he's doing thing. Like,
he's very smart. He's processing.
He didn't lose the game, and that's all you want as a rookie, right? That's
Absolutely.
all you want out of a rookie quarterback is not to lose the game. He put his team in position to win, late fourth quarter lead, and then he drove the ball down the field against the Bucks and had a field goal that missed by.
I mean, we should have ran the ball and got those yards and potentially just done a classic Bill, couple screen passes, 2 yards, couple screen passes, maybe 8 yards to break a tackle. Potentially it's a 30-yard field goal. It's like a extended extra point, which most people miss nowadays. But anyways, on to the next.
All right. And then Monday night, Alpha Dog Bets, you'll have the last word on last week's slate. But we had the Raiders going into Justin Herbert. I was on the Chargers big. I'm very, very high on Justin Herbert. I think he's the real deal, and he is a sneaky pick for MVP. But how do you feel about that Monday Night Football game?
I thought it was a great game. The Chargers looked great in the first half. Obviously, they didn't have as great of a second half, but the team looks good. I agree with you, and I know it's Sammy's boy and Justin Herbert, but that guy's the real deal. He's for sure the real deal. I'm excited to see what he does the rest of the season.
All right, beautiful. Wizard, let's get into this week's slate. Let's do it. All right, guys, it is Thursday. We have Thursday night football. It's actually a crazy sports day, right? We had some soccer. We had some tennis. We have baseball playoffs going on right now. We have college football, but we still have the NFL. The NFL is king. We have the Rams going to Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. I'll let Dead Press Picks analyze this game first.
Yeah, so I love the Rams tonight, guys. Obviously, we're going to expect the public to be on the Rams in this game. It's a tough fade spot for Seattle, but I see this as a big bounce-back game for the Rams. They were kind of embarrassed last week at home. Seattle, maybe, a bit of a letdown. They just had a really big win in San Francisco. So I'm going to be on the Rams on the money line here. The line's been all over the place. I know it opened at 1, then it went up to 3. Now I think it's like 2.5 to 2. Yep. So I'm just going to take the money line, not even mess with the points in this game. Alpha, how do you see this one?
Per usual, I'm with you, my friend. I am on the Rams money line as well. I got it at -135 about an hour ago. I think that's the play tonight. We kind of talked about it earlier, but it might have been a pretty big letdown spot for the Rams last week. I don't think we saw the full Rams team, and I think the line this week is indicative of that. So I think it's a good spot for the Rams, and it's one of my favorite plays this week.
Sammy.
I don't know. So
Sammy, you're with me, brother. You're with me.
Here's
that's not good. That's not good.
My main thing
It's good
is
for us.
how are you
Yeah, for sure.
how are you fading Russ
Ooh.
at home? And also, how are you not
Their
taking
defense.
54 points? It's a good defensive squad, not a great defensive squad in the Seahawks. 54 points, bruh. It's like it's a first half potential under for me, full game under for me, for sure. I might rock with the Seahawks just to be that guy.
All right, guys, I'm with Sammy this week. I like the Seahawks. I did a small teaser play as a personal play, Seahawks +9 and over 47. I think there are going to be points because I think the Seattle defense is not very good. But Russ at home, CenturyLink on prime time, it's almost really, really, really hard to beat them there. But it is not the Seattle Seahawks team of the past. So I agree with Alpha
Absolutely.
and Dead Prez there.
I mean,
All right.
if y'all listen to Sierra's music, that's going to be blasting throughout the stadium. It's crazy. It's Future's son. It's his son. You never know. It's crazy.
All right. Very, very interesting thing with week 5 is we have a game in London this week. All right. To start off Sunday morning. So people on the West Coast starts at 6:30 a.m.
Wake up.
People in New York and the East Coast, it starts at 9:30 a.m. But we have the Jets and Zach Wilson, who showed up last week, traveling. They're both traveling, I guess, but he's playing Matt Ryan and the Falcons. I'll start with Alpha Dog Bets. Like, how do you read this game? They're not going to be at home. It's a neutral site.
How do they make this the game in England? Do they want everyone in England to hate American football?
Yes.
I mean, you're going to put the Falcons versus the Jets out there. The Falcons
It's
already
always
don't
the
have
Jets
Ridley.
or the Jaguars.
The
It's
game in England
one of
always
those.
sucks. There's never
But
been a
why
good
would they? It just makes no sense why they would put that out there. I mean, is anyone on the West Coast, if you don't have action on this game, are you waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to have your eggs in football with, Zach Wilson versus Matt Ryan
No, it's
in England?
It's bangers and mash and the Jets.
Yeah, it's
versus
like
Falcons.
breakfast at Wimbledon, but instead it's breakfast at NFL.
It's breakfast at a minor league stadium. It's a terrible idea by the NFL. And this one, guys, I would lean the Falcons. It's a letdown spot for the Jets. You have a rookie quarterback going overseas. I know that they don't have their stars, but I feel like it's a lot of pressure, especially going overseas, like I said. But it's at 6:30 in the morning on the West Coast, so no one's going to watch it anyway. So maybe not as much pressure.
Jaguars,
by the spread.
Jets money line, guys. Jets money line. Dead Press, how do you feel?
Wait,
I'm
hold on. Someone just said
yeah.
East Coast finally gets an early game. Huh? Okay.
Oh, that's a
Nice.
good one.
Oh,
That's a
the
good one.
Falcons.
I'm still not waking up for it.
Shout
Go
out,
ahead.
shout out
It'll be-
Alien Academy for that one.
Alien Academy with a nice comment there. Let's get into one of the comments from earlier because we're about to get to that game. Hunter Dean, he has need your thoughts on the Pats -9 and Bucks -10. He said huge letdown spot. Dead Press picks. How do you feel about that?
So we got the Pats. Yeah, I don't know about
It's a lot of points. It's a lot of
yeah,
points.
I mean, I don't think that I don't feel comfortable laying honestly either of these numbers. And
I don't either.
yeah, I would actually be on
Tease
the other
'em.
side.
Tease them.
Or
If you
could
like them, you can always tease them. You can do a 6-point teaser and get both at a 3 and a 4. If you do like both of these
Stay
lines a
tuned.
lot.
Stay tuned for the pick'em of the week.
All
There
right,
you
all right.
go.
We'll get back to this. We're gonna get back to this.
Alpha Dog Bets for our new listeners jumping on for the first time this week. Tell them about some of the teaser rules or the teaser principles that we have.
So one of the general principles with teasing is you should never go past the 0. So for example, if you're taking, let's put it in perspective with the Titans-Jaguars game, because that line's currently at 4. So the Titans are currently at 4. You wouldn't want to tease them to a +2. Statistically, it does not pay to take those kind of bets. You should. What I personally like to do is if a team is, let's say, a +3, a +4, I get that to a +9, +10 with a 6-point teaser. But the general rule is never through the 0. Statistically, it does not pay.
Unless you're the Titans.
Unless you're the Titans.
And
All right,
never
Sammy
tease
Adams,
us.
let's just talk about your team. We have New England and we have Houston, Davis Mills. It's hard to back a team with Davis Mills, but Dead Press kind of alluded to it. He might be backing the Houston Texans, but how do you feel about the Patriots and Texans that game?
Look, a lot of people are saying it's a big letdown spot for us. I think coming off of that game, there's nothing but camaraderie and confidence coming out of that locker room. Defense, offense, everything was spot on. We almost beat the Bucs. Like, honestly, Brady would have had 45 seconds to drive down the field and hit a field goal, which he probably would have, to be honest. Like, that is my goat.
Absolutely.
So it is what it is, but I think from that showing last week, I think the number is a little high. Like we've said in previous weeks, like if it's above a touchdown or minus 6.5, we usually don't really touch it. I mean, some of us have touched the Bills. You could have taken the Bills minus 21 last week and you would have cashed. But I feel confident with the Pats. I'll get into that pick later, though, because it is a different story on.
Got it. All right, let's move on to our resident Eagles fan and Dead Press picks. We had some news in the NFL. The New England Patriots, let go of or traded Stephon Gilmore. He is now a Panther in Carolina. I'm not sure if he's playing this week, but they are playing the Eagles at home in Carolina. How do you feel about Jalen Hurts and your Eagles?
Yeah, well, I would never bet it, but if I did, I would take the Panthers this week. I would never actually.
There it is.
I also think McCaffrey should be back, right? Like It says so according to my fantasy app. So I hope he plays. And well, I do and I don't. But I think that the Panthers are a bit overrated. Like I think their defense last week. I know how good Dallas's offense is, but I don't think they're as good as they were playing. The line there to me is I think the line should be a little bigger, to be honest. I had it more like 5.5, 6.
Shots fired at AC.
Yeah, well, sure.
I'm good with it. My team's 3-1. I'm good with it.
But I'm not going to go on record saying I took the Panthers, but I won't take the Eagles this week. So
I'll go on record right now. I'm going to be on the Eagles. I'm actually going to be Eagles.
I think you want to be an Eagles fan. You're on the Eagles a lot, you say.
I just think there's a lot of value. Yes, they had a letdown spot in against Kansas City last week, but they showed some life with their offense. And if they can play defense like they did against the 49ers, I think they can really do something with Carolina, because this Sam Darnold leading the league in rushing touchdowns is not going to be sustainable. So I think he's going to have to make some really tough passes. And honestly, I think the Eagles are a little underrated right now. Alpha Dog Bets.
Wow.
New Orleans traveling to Taylor Heineke, Washington football team. It's a 2.5, maybe 2-point spread, depending on your book. How do you feel about that game?
So at 2.5, I kind of like it on the Washington football team side, especially at home. I just don't have a lot of faith in the Saints. I think week 1 was a fluke. I think it was more showing about the Packers not being fully prepared, getting over the whole Aaron Rodgers offseason fiasco, all that stuff. I just don't think that the Saints are that great of a team. I mean, the Giants, I think, played above themselves last week, but they really haven't impressed me. And Washington seems to get the job done. And Heineke seems like a pretty decent backup or serviceable or game manager, whatever you want to call him. He's doing a decent job. He is.
Comeback last week.
He definitely did. So I'm going to be going with Washington on this one at the minus 2.5.
Also, shout out Shailene Woodley. She really whipped Aaron Rodgers into straight. Come on, bro. We are not taking dubs from now on. Anyways, about the Washington football team, it's hard to back a team that doesn't even have a face to the name. It's there's no logo here still. It's wild.
The Washington Dan Snyders.
Talking about Shailene Woodley, we have Aaron Rodgers. It's hard to talk about the young quarterbacks because I love Justin Herbert and I also love Joey B, guys. I love Joe Burrow so much. He's at home against Aaron Rodgers, who I think could be, an heir apparent, right? Rodgers to Burrow, but it's a 3-point spread right now. I'll start with Dead Press picks. Is there value on the Bengals this week?
Yeah, I do like the Bengals here to upset them on the money line. I think it's a good spot for them at home. They've been impressive. It's not the same old Bengals defense. They're a lot better defensively. As you alluded to, Burrow's been great this year. I think there's a lot of holes still on that Packers defense. So I think the Bengals actually do take care of business, and I think the value here is pretty solid with them at home. You could take them with the points as well, but I think they're worth taking a shot this week on the money line.
I mean,
you're taking the Bengals. You're really taking the Bengals money line, not even taking the points. Go straight money line.
Give me it all.
this game, if it was like plus 210, it'd be fine. But it's Packers minus 150, Bengals plus 130. That's not value for me. Like, I love Big DD, Big DJ, Joe, LSU. Let's go. Smoke a Cubano on the field. Let's go. Let's get it. It's fine. At the same time, you're playing against Aaron Rodgers and a bunch of absolute units. And that is a sketchy line. So
we know Sammy Adams loves Aaron Rodgers. Alpha Dog Bets, are you gonna be on Green Bay or Cincy? Because
I'm on Green Bay in this one.
All right,
absolutely on Green Bay.
I think we gotta do it. Me and Dad are on Cincy. Alpha and Sammy are gonna be on the Packers.
Side bet.
We're gonna go head to head. We got to pick something. Winner has to do something. Loser has to do something next week.
We'll make it. Sure. We'll figure it out.
All right.
For sure. Also, remember, I know Dad just spoke about that Green Bay defensive line. They have a lot of holes in that defense. They filled one of those holes this week. They got Jalen Smith from the Cowboys. I think they're only going to get better as a team, especially growing together. Let's go, Packers. Me and Sammy are taking this one.
Jalen Smith is not the answer to your problems. Just letting you guys know.
He's a help. He's help. He's help.
I heard someone say fill one of those holes. I lost my train of thought.
No, yeah.
Alrighty, next game.
Really big game. Really big game. We have Cleveland and Baker Mayfield, who might be a little hurt. I think there was a torn labrum reported, traveling to the Chargers, who are red hot right now. It's a very, very fishy line. Chargers are -2. I'll start with Alpha Dog Bets. How do you cap this game?
So the line is fishy to me because I thought it would be a much bigger spread for the Chargers. I thought that they've been playing great and they're at home. So to me, I'm going to lay off taking the Chargers by the spread or the money line. I'm going to be taking the under in this game, under 47. I think that's the play on this one. I think that even though both teams have high power offenses, the Browns like to slow it down and pound the ball, especially with the potential injury to Baker Mayfield. I'm going to be taking the under 47.
But I think something we have to realize with the Chargers, like they don't have home games, right? Like it's at home. But their fans
17 road games. I agree with you.
Yeah, so
but you're sleeping at your own bed, though. You're sleeping in your own bed.
You're winning.
But like the Raiders game, the Raiders game was basically a home game for the Raiders. So
every single team, I think Alpha Dog Bets is probably going to experience this. But when the Cowboys opened their brand new stadium, Jerry Jones' big, beautiful stadium there in Arlington, every road team overpowered the home fans. So for that at least 2-3 year window there, the Cowboys didn't really have a home field advantage. And I think that's what the Chargers are going through for many reasons. One, no one's really a Chargers fan. Like nobody follows that team. Two, they're in LA. So all of these transplants are already living LA. So they're going to be big Ravens fans or big Cowboys fans, or like you saw, big Raiders fans. So every week they're going to be a road team. Okay, go Sammy, talk your talk.
You guys see before thunder, what happens?
Rain.
Well,
I'm not saying the word you want me to say, but we know what you want to say.
Lightning bolts.
Evaporation.
This is insane. If you guys are literally thinking that Baker Mayfield's going to wake up, he missed like 7 open targets this last.
Also, the Browns fans don't travel. That's one team I'm not afraid that's going to outpower them. Is that no offense to our friend Clee Picks, love Clee, great guy, but there's no way that stadium's going to be 100% Browns fans. I don't even think there's enough Browns fans in the country to fill that stadium. So I still think that they'll have the home field.
I think as far as the line goes, though, the bookmakers don't really give them a home line.
I agree.
Exactly.
So that's why when people see the lines with the Chargers, like you have to kind of play in. It's not like it's in Lambeau or you know what I mean, like a true home field advantage.
All right, another NFC bout on Sunday is going to be between Alpha Dog Bet's big New York Giants team and my Dallas Cowboys. I'll be honest, I might not be on the Cowboys this game, but Alpha Dog Bet's our resident Giants fan. How do you feel after that big win and going into Dallas?
It's a good week. I get to bring out the fleece this week for the first time all year. The Giants are not embarrassing to wear. We don't have to be embarrassed to wear their gear this week. Only for the Yankees behind me is the only thing us New Yorkers are worrying about right now. But 7 points in Dallas is a lot. These games typically stay close. The issue is at the end of these games, one team usually separates. These games for 3 quarters are usually a 1-score game, but in the final minutes, the game ends at 14 to 17 point line. I think the Giants are good enough to cover here. You guys know that I do not bet on my New York Giants because watching them lose is sad enough for me. If I had money on it and them losing twice, it'd be a nightmare of a Sunday for me. But if I was to take anything on this one, guys, it would probably be the under 52. That is a lot of points, especially for a divisional game. However, I think the Giants cover, but when do I not think they're going to cover? Take the under. If you're going to take something, I think the 52 is the best line on this one.
I don't know.
Dead press picks, NFC East bout. This is not one of your teams. You hate both teams.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about this game?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's going to be no feelings in this one for either. But I like Dallas on the first half. I think that they could come out hot in this game, cover this one early. As you said, though, sometimes these games do stay close at the beginning and then a separation. But I just don't see a way the Giants can keep up with the Dallas offense in this game. Sorry, Alpha, but I'm gonna slam. For the first time this year, I'm gonna back the
Wow, I'm not even backing the Cowboys. Sammy Adams, how do you feel about this big game?
I mean, it's a wild statement coming from a guy who's Eagles have won once at the length. Danny Dimes.
I don't think
No, they haven't even won, bro. They have not won.
Yeah. They haven't even won. Well, you live in your Lord.
But
Danny Dimes is literally maybe one of two quarterbacks who's thrown for 400 plus in one game. Is like this year. It's not. I don't think it's a fluke. Like we got to get over the fact that Mac Jones is gonna be good. Danny Dimes is actually good. You just need a good O-line, and I think honestly, the plus 280 is an absolute joke. I'll be dropping a little dime on.
Okay, I see you.
The money line.
For my assessment, Danny Dimes is not bad, and honestly, people have been overlooking the Giants' skill positions all year long. Saquon's going to get better week to week, and they actually have a pretty good wide receiver core. The only thing I would say about that game is the Cowboys may get up early, just like the Carolina game, but they don't put the pedal to the metal. They're always going to let a team come back. So I'm actually opposite of Alpha in this week. I think it's going to be a big gap early, and then Dallas is going to allow New York to come back in the end and maybe backdoor them. So
you think it's a potential teaser play for over?
We'll get to that later because it is one of my best bets.
All right.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Sunday night, huge marquee game. Guys, I'm in Austin right now. I'm hanging out with my boy Sick Picks and my boy Hefe Picks. They have a flight out on Sunday, but they're trying to reschedule that flight so they can catch this game because it's going to be an amazing game. We have Josh Allen, who is on fire now after week 1, traveling to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I'll start with Alpha Dog Bets. How do you rate this game? How do you analyze this huge game?
Bills.
Wow.
You guys know I'm so high on this. You guys know, no, please. New Yorkers do not like the Bills. We don't even think that they're in New York. They're pretty much up there close to Canada. I didn't say they're in Canada. They're close to Canada. But I think they're a better team than the Chiefs at the core. I think that on both sides of the ball, the Buffalo Bills are one of the top 3 teams in the league, and they're one of my favorites to win it all this year. I'm very high on Josh Allen, and I love that team. You're going to give me 3 points in this one when we all know how the Chiefs have done. I believe they're now 2-14 over the last 16 games against the spread. Give me the Bills plus 3.
I'm going to be opposite side of you here, Alf. Unfortunately,
what do you mean?
Unfortunately, I'm going to be on KC here at -3. Now they're going to get in a little rhythm here covering the spread, right? My Eagles got them started. Now they're going to, at home, I like this spot for them. I mean, offensively, you know what you're going to get. Defensively, obviously, yes, there's some concern, but I love them here at home. Just a field goal. They're gonna start taking care of business. They need to win these games after falling out to a 1-2 start. So they're gonna. It's
not the Eagles. It's not the Eagles. Just remember, the Bills are not the Eagles. A little different caliber opponent.
Sammy Adams, talk your talk. Bills, Chiefs.
Listen, the Chiefs defense. If you have had the spread in any of the 4 games, it is an absolute sweat the whole time. Their D is Swiss cheese. They can't stop the run, cannot stop the pass. Josh Allen can run and pass. Big problem for Chiefs D, in my opinion. Giving up 3 points to the Bills, who are smoking teams by 40. That's bad news, Bears. And I don't care if you're in Kansas City, or Missouri, Kansas City. Either way, +3, lock it up for me.
We have a comment from Zach Betts. He asked, Cowboys tease down to -1.5 ? I actually like the other way. If there's a potential letdown spot, this is actually it for the Cowboys. They just came off a big win against Carolina. They came off their 3-1 riding high. This is kind of when the Cowboys, I've been a Cowboys fan now for 35 years. This is when they disappoint you. Do not tease the Cowboys because they might lose on a money line. But if you want to tease it, I actually think the value is going to be on the Giants and Alpha Dog Bets team. My analysis on Sunday night game between the Bills and the Chiefs. The Chiefs, to me, were one of the teams that really should have gone for Stephon Gilmore. The Chiefs and the Cowboys.
I agree.
That's a great point.
It was only a 6th-round pick that was gotten back. If he had gone to the Chiefs or he had gone to the Cowboys, I think both of them would have been really legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Chiefs might be already, but I think they're a little overrated. I still think the Chiefs may cover this game, but I don't have a read on it yet. Let's go ahead. On Monday Night Football, we have Indiana Colts and Carson Wentz traveling to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Right now, it's a touchdown spread or gap between them. Do you take the points here, or do you want to lay the points? I'll start with Sammy Adams.
I mean, the Colts team is so up and down. You got 2 sprained ankles. Who's Q1? Like, I can't even name the other 2 guys. I was looking it up. It's like it could be this guy or this other guy who usually washes the showers. It's
a very interesting contract caveat because right now there's a clause in Carson Wentz's contract where if he plays more than 75% of the snaps this year, he's going to get a crazy bonus at the end. So I think there's like a rock in a hard place because the Colts know that they need to develop someone because Carson's not that guy. But at the same time, Carson is like, well, I'm trying to redo my image. I'm not that hurt guy. So he's playing these games while hurt.
It's a full caveat for like, well, I'm really good to go, coach. It's a Boomy Miles from, Friday Night Lights. It's like, come on, dude. It's like, just take the MRI, realize you have an absolute torn ACL, even though it's not that serious. At the same time, it's like, they beat Miami, like the Dolphins. Congratulations, dude. It's like,
Monday Night Football. Dead Press Picks, how are you reading this game?
The thing is the Colts have sucked so far, but they're only a game out, right? I think that's the worst division in football. I think it's worse than our NFC East, to be honest.
Agreed.
NFC East is back. The NFC is back.
Yeah, maybe. But the South, I mean, I just think it's brutal because the Texans and Jags, obviously, they both suck. And then the Colts and Titans, most divisions, they're not a playoff.
Jacoby Brissett, baby. Jacoby Brissett, Pats Nation.
For this game, I would go with the first half under. Colts have been a pretty good first half under team.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate a crazy pace in this game. They've worked into their red zone a good amount, just haven't been able to finish a lot of drives. So I like the first half under for this particular game.
Alpha, how do you feel about Monday night? And then get us into our best bets for the week.
All right, so I'll give you guys a little preview of the best bets. One of my best bets this week is going to be the under in this game. Good segue to go into the best bets. I think that the under 46 is definitely in play. Both of these teams are very running style teams between Baltimore and Indianapolis. We should see the clock be churning all game, kind of like Dead sees it in the first half. I see it in the full game, and I got it at 46. But, guys, let's lead that right into our best bets segment. We need the Wizard to get that up for us. Wizard, thank you, sir. All right, guys. So my best bets this week are going to start like what I said with that one. It's going to be the – it looks like actually – 1 second.
They're right on the screen.
Yeah, that is let me see. Under me is not mine. Are those right, guys? Or is that last week?
Those are actually last week. So we could recap them and talk about how good we did, or we can just
wait. Actually, toss that back up. Let me talk about my.
Let me talk about
let me talk about my bets real quick. Okay,
Sammy, go, baby.
Come on, baby. Look at that.
Let's absolutely jump on the Quidditch team, sweep the room. Browns -2, teaser Browns and
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Yeah, guys,
And
this is last week's, but I do want to give props. We were 8-4 collectively as a team for our best bets. I do have this week's best bets. Let's go ahead with Alpha Dog bets. We have the Rams -2, the Bills +3, and the Ravens and Colts under 46. What's your favorite play out of those three, Alpha?
My favorite's going to be tonight's game, guys. The Rams -2. Like I said earlier, it's now up to 2.5. Well, we locked it in at 2 yesterday. But I think it's a bounce back game after last week. And then my second favorite bet this week is going to be the Bills +3. Went over why we like them against the Chiefs. And then my third best bet, Ravens Colts under 46. AC, looks like this week your first best bet is between an NFC East rival. Do you want to tell everyone about your best bets this week?
I got this early in the week, but I like the teasers for the Eagles +10.5. Make sure you get to that 10 number. And the Jets Falcons, this early morning game in London, over 37. I just think there's going to be some bad defense or misplays in that game because they're overseas in England. The other one, I like the Chargers money line against the Browns. Again, I think everybody knows how much I love Justin Herbert. And then the Giants and the Cowboys over 51, because I think this is a huge backdoor potential for the Giants to get a couple touchdowns in the fourth quarter to make it really close. So give me the Giants and the Cowboys over 51 as my favorite play of the week. Dead Prez, you had the Rams money line, the Chiefs -3, and the Ravens Colts first under 23.5. Let's go ahead and talk through your picks.
Yeah, I think we kind of hit on the Rams tonight. I think it's a big bounce back game. Such a good team. I don't see them losing a lot of games back to back this week. Also, that Seattle secondary ranks 28th in the NFL, while the Rams' passing offense is a top 3 attack. So I think that through the air, the Rams are going to just have their way with that Seattle secondary. The Chiefs, we kind of got into that. I think, at home, they get into a little bit of a rhythm here, start covering some spreads. Finally, look at that. There it is. Woo.
There it is.
The Wizard doing work in the background.
Wizard.
Just in time. And then the Ravens Colts there. Yeah, I like that first half under. Both these teams going to run a lot, right? We don't see the Ravens pass a whole lot. When they do, you're typically not going to see those, huge plays that are going to kill a first half under. Both defenses have been okay, but I think they're good enough to stay under this number. Sammy, what do you got?
I mean, coming off a hot week, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking numbers here, and Bills +3 is wild to me. I don't care if they're playing the Chiefs. I'm taking the Bills +3. I think
Let's go.
I think they cover. I think it might be a little sprinkle on the money line for Wizzy. And then I got Chargers money line. Let's really ride these Justin Herbert cards I got from AC. Bring them to the top. Let's get an MVP going. And then for the play of the week, I got teaser Pats -3.5 with cards getting 0.5 for -130. Oh my Lord. Come on with it.
I love it. All right, let's get into this week's questions, guys, and then we'll close out the show. Great best bets.
All right, guys, for the questions we got from K-Dub, who is the best QB in the AFC West? I mean, this year, not a Lifetime Achievement Award. Alpha, we'll start with you. What do you think on this one?
Oof. That's a tough one. Just for this year alone? I mean,
it's an easy question.
It's obviously Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, but this year, like I've said, I've really loved the way Justin Herbert's played. So, it's Mahomes, but Herbert's in the conversation, which is a lot more than you can say about most quarterbacks.
I'm gonna go contrarian, guys. Heading into last week, freaking
Daniel Jones.
Derek Carr was averaging 400 yards a game. He was on fire. The Raiders were undefeated. Obviously, he had a really bad first half against the Chargers, but then tore it up in the second half. If I had to pick just this week, this moment, and I hate him so much, but it has to be Derek Carr because I think he's playing above where everybody expected.
I agree. I would have said Derek Carr coming into this week.
Look at that
No.
card right there. Beautiful. John
That's a
Russ.
beautiful card.
Beautiful card. All right,
You
next
guys can't
question.
read.
Wizard.
Justin
Question number 2.
Herbert. It says Justin Herbert.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Just there you go, Alpha. How dumb would we be to put any amount of stock into the Giants? There has to be zero chance that they can replicate.
Replicate.
There's zero chance that they can replicate. I was like, you see, Kevin Garnett did that. Anything close to what they did last Sunday? Question mark. Replicate. As I was sounding that out in my head. Alpha, we'll start with you since you're a Giants faithful.
That's that Philadelphia school
All right.
system right there, yeah.
All right. Philadelphia school system needs a little help, but the New York school system, the New Jersey and New York school system's here to save us.
New Jersey on
So-
fire, bro. New Jersey on fire.
So
I think Dallas and Massachusetts can read too. It's just Philly is in question.
We would have just said
Yeah,
Dawn
yeah.
instead of replicate.
So I wouldn't put too much stock into the Giants quite yet. You got to see a couple more results like they had this week. 1-3 is not the start that they wanted, especially with a weaker start of schedule. They lost some games they should have won, so I'm not putting too much stock in them. Side note, I'm stopping everything right now because Chris Carson was just rolled out tonight, guys, in the Seahawks-Rams game. Just want to give you guys all that information. He is officially out for the game.
Alpha
Well, I
Dog
don't
Bets
think
got
so,
that
Alpha
information from bookmakersreview.com. Everybody,
That's where I
please
got
check
it.
out their website. Best fantasy news ever.
It's
Go ahead,
insane.
Dead Press.
It is quick. All right,
I'm
question
thinking
3.
answer
Let's
any
hope this
questions.
is a little bit
Wow.
easier here, Wizard. Don't give me any difficult words to read, please. Question 3. All right, this is nice and easy. No big words here. What is the worst conference, and why is it the NFC East? Well, see, I'm going to take this one real quick because I don't think it's the NFC East. As I just said, I think it's the AFC South with the Colts, Titans, Jags, and Texans. But the NFC East isn't that great. What do you guys think? You think that's the worst conference?
Well, I'm going to start by saying the worst conference is the AFC. As an NFC fan, I think the NFC has a lot better teams than the entire NFL. But I'm going to agree with Dad by the worst division.
Nice. Yeah, he meant division there. He meant division. I will agree with Dead. I mean, I'm not going to hate on my NFC East because I think for the most part we beat up on each other, and I think we're better than a lot of people realize. But I think right now the Titans, as the face of the AFC South, are worse than the Cowboys. So I'm going to say the NFC East is better.
Sammy, you got anything?
I agree.
NFC East?
Yeah. I mean, I would just have to say that I don't really care.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Last
Doesn't
question.
matter. Wizard, last question.
All right.
No. The answer is no. It's from our good friend A's Picks. I'm going to read this one. Are the Cowboys the best team in the NFL? I'm going to answer that for you. It's a negative.
Why do we let this question go? No, actually, no.
Who screened these questions, boys?
That one's my fault. I just wanted to describe how bad they were for a minute, but no, they're not.
How are they not? How are they not?
Wait, so wait, we got a guy from the link who has no home wins.
We don't have any either.
Who has a bunch of home wins? Crazy. This is wild to me. Even in those little that look like seal pants. It looks like a seal suit. In like the Cowboys uniform. It's like the white on like the slick silver. When Zeke starts running, it's like you can't even see him. It's insane. I honestly think until someone stops.
He's not even their best running back. It's so true. It's Pollard.
Well, yeah. I mean, look.
Ace pick at 3-1. At 3-1, I can't say that the Cowboys are the best team, but they are performing above expectations. I'll give them top 10. I mean, right now it has to be the Cardinals. 10. Yeah,
I'll give them top 20.
Cardinals. They just went into Los Angeles and beat the Rams. That's a huge win for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think the Cardinals are the best team, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they're not going to do anything in the playoffs. But we all know the Cowboys are about to win number 6 this year. Number 6, yo.
You're not even going to win this week, bro. Wizard, great show, boys.
Thank you, everybody, for joining our show, bookmakersreview.com. We do this every week. We have an awesome guest next week. Sammy Adams was able to get an awesome guest where I'm not going to tell you. You got to lock it in. Welcome, everybody, again. Thank you, bookmakersreview.com. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Click
the button.
all the
Hit the
links
button.
in the description for the NFL
Smash it.
content. And please give us a like. Thank you, guys.
Replicate.
Let's go Giants.
Replicate. See you guys.
8-4. We're beating 8-4 again, boys. We're beating 8-4.
Under tonight. Under
Six.
tonight.
Six.
You want it.
Super
You want
Bowls.
it. You want it. You want it.
No.